Hello, my name is Nikita Jha, and this is my partner, Anish Rajeev. We are 11th graders who are competing in the mobile applications category, and we created an app called Everhealthy, your personalized diet advisor. The app uses machine learning and linear regression algorithms to provide fast, accurate, and personalized food recommendations based on a user's current health conditions. Before we further expand upon the intended purpose of the app, let's get started with the reason why we created Everhealthy. Did you know that unhealthy diets contribute to approximately 678,000 deaths every year in the United States? These deaths are primarily due to obesity and nutrition related diseases, such as heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, kidney damage, and liver failure. The obesity epidemic in the United States is one that is especially prevalent. According to the Center for Science and the Public Interest, obesity rates have doubled in children, tripled in adults, and quadrupled in adolescents over the course of the past 30 years. Currently, over two-thirds of American adults are obese or overweight. Let's take a deeper look into why one of the world's most developed countries is facing such a big health crisis.
Every year, many Americans go for their annual checkup where they get reports full of their health information, from blood work and other health assessments. However, afterwards, these individuals are left confused about what exactly all these numbers mean and ultimately how they can alter their regular food habits to improve them. Consequently, most people do not significantly alter their unhealthy food habits even after receiving detailed health reports with certain aspects that should raise concern immediately. People need a personalized, more effective dietary recommendation plan that enables them to intuitively see exactly which parts of their current health needs to be improved and what foods they should be eating in order to make a difference in their own health.
Now we will go over how our idea solves these problems and what its intended purpose is. The purpose of Everhealthy is to evaluate your food choices and give fast, accurate, and personalized recommendations based on your current health conditions. It enables users to first add all of their personal health data from their most recent health report into the app. After choosing the food item of their choice, users will receive a personalized report based on their current health conditions, which will determine whether or not this food item will be a good choice for them. By catering dietary recommendations based on all of a user's chosen health parameters instead of just biometrics like height, weight, and BMI, Everhealthy is much more individualized and accurate than its competition. As users update their blood reports over the years, machine learning algorithms are used to monitor any trends in blood level values and alter the food recommendations based on these detected trends, instead of just the blood level values. We will further explain the machine learning and artificial intelligence components of our app later on in the presentation. The app also provides clear explanations and analysis about the user's health levels and recommendations, making it much more intuitive than the medical reports people often receive.
Let us now show you all a quick video demonstration of our app in action.
This is where the user logs into Everhealthy. All user information is stored on a secure, password-hashed MongoDB database in order to ensure that all user information stays completely confidential. Next, the user will be asked to complete a short health survey in which they enter biometrics, including health levels from their most recent annual checkup. Once they have completed their health report, users will be directed to the main screen, where their current location will be used to show a list of the closest restaurants sorted by distance. There's also an option to search for a restaurant. Once the user selects the restaurant they will be eating at, Everhealthy shows them the restaurant's menu options, allowing users to choose a particular food item. Finally, using a proprietary Everhealthy algorithm, users will be shown a thorough yet intuitive personalized diet report. Here, this user is being asked to avoid this particular food item. For more details, users can click on the Y text next to the specific part of their health report that will be negatively impacted by this food item. A pop-up will then be shown that contains a graph showing the user exactly where their current health level is relative to the healthy range as indicated by green, and a short description of why this particular food item will be harmful for their current health levels. The Everhealthy app also has an analysis section with intuitive graphs, where users can update their health reports following annual checkups and monitor how their personal health is improving over a period of time following Everhealthy guidelines. Lastly, the account screen is where users can set up their account, update their report, and sign out of the application.
Everhealthy is unique compared to its market competitors in many different ways on which we'll elaborate on. What makes Everhealthy unique and different from all other dietary apps in the market is that it offers personalization based on an individual's current health levels. While other apps may focus on generic nutrition plans that don't cater to specific needs, Everhealthy takes the user's health reports into account while making recommendations. Another feature that makes Everhealthy unique is that it's cross-platform, meaning it can be run on both Apple and Android devices. When designing the app, we first started out with some sketches of what we would want the UI to resemble. Then, to make our ideas more concrete, we used the app just in mind to design and create the UI on a computer. Finally, we laid the UI out for each screen on a flowchart and connected them to resemble how we would want our app to flow.
We will now explain our usage of machine learning to provide food recommendations based on a user's current health conditions. First, we extracted all of the necessary nutrition labels from the food items using publicly available restaurant menu datasets and help from medical experts. Then we researched the healthy ranges for each blood level and coded an algorithm to take into account each of the user's blood levels and compare them to the healthy benchmark. We then assigned a linear regression coefficient called the variance score to represent how close or far a given health level is from the healthy range. We then trained our machine learning model to analyze the trends in a user's blood levels over the years with the help of the variance score and to alter their given food recommendations based on these trends. As you can see in the code snips, we also assigned a final regression coefficient to predict how close or our prior recommendations have been in improving the user's health levels. Now, we will be getting into the software and tools we use to make Everhealthy.
In order to build Everhealthy, we used an open source JavaScript mobile application framework called React Native. The tool allowed us to do cross-platform mobile application development, which means we were able to use the same code for developing both on Android and iOS application. We also used Open Menu API to source information for our restaurant menu options, MongoDB to store all of our user information, and TensorFlow to train our machine learning algorithms. Additional tools include Express API for connecting our database to our code, GitHub for version control, and Visual Studio Code as our IDE.
Because we are dealing with private medical information, we had to code a multi-layer authentication process and design a secure database using several security safeguards, like column encryption and rainbow table attacks, in order to make sure that all of the user information stays completely confidential. As seen in the code snips, we used JSON web tokens in our login authentication to determine whether a user is signed in or not when the app is first loaded. If the user signed in, another security precaution is taken to ensure the user's web token is not expired or disabled before opening the main screen. This makes sure that unless the phone is restarted, the user will not have to keep logging in every time the app is opened. In the bottom code snip, you can see that we have coded the MongoDB database connection, which is where all of the user information will be stored.
Altogether, we wrote over 10,000 lines of code over the course of 7 months when developing Everhealthy. In the process of building the app, we not only learned the important software components of mobile application development, like writing and deploying code with React Native, but also integral parts of the design, process, and version control. We also had to learn the basics of data science, with Python to code many aspects of the food recommendation section of the app. Another important skill that we had to master before working on the app was Git for version control. Since both of us were working on the project together, we had to make sure that we could store and edit code efficiently, and Git helped us a lot with this.
We will now go over potential improvements for the 2.0 version of Everhealthy. One feature that we believe would greatly augment the user experience and convenience when using the app is an OCR-enabled report scanner using the user's phone camera, which will allow users to simply scan their medical reports instead of having to manually enter them in their health levels. This scanner will also automatically populate the values from the report directly into the health survey screen, making the initial process much faster. We would also like to expand the app to include personalized exercise and recipe recommendations based on the user's current health levels. By doing this, Everhealthy can become a one-stop shop for almost all of an individual's health needs, instead of just a dietary app. In addition, we would like to work on enhancing the app's aesthetic appeal by including more animations, graphics, colors, and fonts, so users will better enjoy the app's many features. Lastly, in future versions, Everhealthy could provide healthy restaurant recommendations based on what the user should and should not be eating, as this would eliminate the hassle of tediously finding nearby healthy restaurants.
Throughout our experience developing this app, we faced numerous obstacles that significantly decreased our rate of progress but also taught us much more than any other aspect of our project. We will now get into some of these challenges. The biggest challenges we encountered was when formulating the proprietary machine learning algorithm for the personalized recommendation portion of the app. Both creating and debugging this algorithm in Python and TensorFlow proved to be extremely taxing, and training our dataset models took much longer than expected. Another challenge we encountered was debugging the code in the app's login authentication. Because we were dealing with private health information, we wanted to ensure the app was completely secure. To deal with this, we used password encryption techniques, including the rainbow table attack and column encryption, both of which took a lot of troubleshooting and ultimately proved to be very challenging. The next main challenge we faced was cross-compatibility. We choose to use React Native because it allows us to build fully native apps on both of the most commonly used platforms, iOS and Android. However, coding out all of the different aspects of the app so they would work as intended on either operating system was very tedious. Finally, sourcing information for our nearby restaurants was a major issue. We used several APIs, but during random and often inopportune times, developers would often shut down these APIs, which added another layer of difficulty.
In conclusion, building Everhealthy helped us learn a lot more about parts of computer science that we had not previously explored. The easiest part of this project was designing the UI, because we were able to use a relatively small amount of code to bring all of our amazing ideas to life. We ultimately learned a lot with this project, including React Native, Express API, MongoDB, ngrok, and even different parts of the designing process, like how to build a prototype of our app and design a flowchart. The most fun part of this project was seeing all of our hard work come to fruition when we were able to hold a fully completed app in our hands at the end. We hope to continue expanding on our app in the future so that one day anyone and everyone can use Everhealthy's powerful analytics to make better decisions about their diet and personal health. Thank you, and here are our sources.